you know what I mean, I'm in love with it. So
Right.
I would tend to stay in areas where I could see those things are presented. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So yeah,
Yeah, but
I think it's what people want to get out of something. I mean, I'm trying to help and guide or be an elder. You know what I mean? You would want something to somebody to receive that. It's just like coaching or managing. You know what I mean? And knowing people's talents and knowing where to place them at. And if somebody say, "Nah, I don't go here," I wouldn't be. You know what I'm saying? Instead of
mhm.
argument, it's more of trying to get, for things to go right and for everybody to get something out of it. And so I think it's what people want out of things is how they perceive things.
Hmm. And do you find that, I guess, the younger people that you have conversations with, do they receive you well in terms of
Um,
what you have to offer with advice and stuff? Hey, Mo.
um, Kind of yes and no, because I know what it is to be young too. And the way I gravitate to knowledge, like a lot of people just be talking stuff, like, and they be talking from their own personal, you know what
Hmm.
I mean? Like, you know what I mean? I could decipher, you know what I mean? And like, I gravitate, when I was young, I gravitate to realness, you know what I mean? And I could tell when somebody's being real, and you know what I'm saying, I would gravitate to that. So if people don't gravitate to it, it's not for them. It's not for them at their time. You know what I mean? I'm not getting mad at the young person. They got other things on their mind. I had other things on their mind. It's not for me right now. You know what I
Right, right,
mean? For those who have an ear for it, will listen.
right. No, I totally
Most
understand.
definitely.
And Otis, can you just 1 second? I just want to take a pause for the cause real quick. I want to thank
Mhm.
Taylor Bell for your cash app. Appreciate you, brother. Let's go ahead and thank you really quick, and then we'll let Otis. You got it after that.
Uh-huh. We humble as a bumble in the middle of the jungle. We got problems and we fumble and we stumble, but we don't grumble. All we do is hustle. And you the reason that we on our way up. You the reason. 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 You the reason.
Thank you so much. All right, Otis, you got it.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't really have anything. I was just going to piggyback off what the gentleman said. I mean, I was just agreeing with him. I concur with everything he said. I couldn't have said it any better. I mean, I concur with him. Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. We also were kind of like talking about I guess a communication styles. Black Manosphere. Do you think that delivery matters when it comes to like trying to connect with the younger generation? Because I mean, in my opinion, I mean, people are visual, you know what I'm saying, in general. So it's like if they can't see your success, if they can't see it on you, sometimes just off of face value, they don't respect what you're offering in terms of your words. So do you think that how you deliver the message matters with younger people, or you just like, hey, I gave it to you, take it or leave it?
That's a great question. Thank you. No, I totally think delivery matters all throughout life and everything. You know what I mean? Delivery is everything, even in rhyming and rapping.
Mhm.
um how somebody delivers something to you is how you swallow it. So you have to know how somebody swallows, how they ingest, how what they, you know what I'm saying, to know the right delivery to get across to them. Because you can say things and just do it, but it's not effective. If you want to be effective, then you want to come with the right delivery so that you can get that aha moment. I get what you're saying. I understand, because that's what you want from people is, do you understand me? You know what I mean? Do we
Right.
have an understanding? So yes, delivery is the most important thing. And I think an elder, and I think people who are smart and intelligent look for different ways and deliveries to give to you. I don't just have one way for you. I got your medicine. I got your way. I'm gonna get
Right.
across to you. I got you. So
Mhm.
I
Right.
think delivery, to answer your question, I think delivery is everything.
100%. I've experienced, and it sticks in my mind so strong. This happened like 2 years ago, and it bothered me, still bothers me to this day. It was a young man. He had to be in his mid 20s. We were having a conversation. He got verbally aggressive first. I'm not making this up. So and I admit it, I shouldn't have did this. I met his verbal aggression with more verbal aggression.
Okay.
I did. And when I did it, then that's when I realized, and please, young people, don't take this the wrong way. That's when I realized, even though he was barking, he wasn't ready for this bite. He broke down. He broke down in tears. And I saw, he broke, but it was tears out of anger. You know, when somebody gets so mad, they want to cry and they want to do something. I saw him. He was just, I said, oh shit. I went a little bit too hard.
I've had those moments.
You see what I'm saying? So as an elder, as a mature man, I realized I effed up. I shouldn't have met him with that aggression. I should have took a step back and met him with the adultness that I know I had to ease that situation. So what, he was being disrespectful to me at first. Come another way. So I learned from that 2 years ago. And to this day, it still bothers me. But I see it on a regular occurrence. This younger generation, and please don't take this the wrong way, but we got to work on it. They do not have this emotional strength to take it. They're too sensitive. They are. And so I have to learn how to just be cautious with my words. Not everyone, but the majority, be cautious with my words. Not try to do as I say, not as I, my fault, do as I say, not as I do. Cause be careful. These young people, like you said, they don't like that. You got to show them something. So you have to beware on how you deal with certain situations. Each one is a case-by-case situation. I'm not going to put a blanket statement on it, but I do agree with what the gentleman was saying. You have to be cautious. You have to be aware of how you present yourself, your tone, and all that. You have to.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just, like I said, just
sometimes it ain't.
Go ahead, H&M.
Yeah, sometimes it ain't what you say, but how you say it. Yep. That's essentially how that goes. How you say something is important as what you're saying it.
Yeah.
But okay, so then I have a follow-up question, Otis. So you, on one hand, you say that you're too sensitive, but at the same time, you're being considerate of your tone and your delivery. So what is the difference when you say too sensitive? What do you mean? Kind of like what you said when you reciprocated and you barked and that he didn't know what to do and you broke down. Is that what you mean by sensitive?
Yes. And again, I have to realize I was young too at one point in time. So it's how, I guess, the other individual, matter of fact, let me stop rambling. To me, I'm breaking it all down. To me, it's lack of a father being in the household or in his life, whether it's uncles or whatever. And I'm going to say that because I can honestly say my father wasn't in my life, but I had uncles. And not that they really sat down and talked to me. One of them did, but I watched them and I followed them by example. I knew what not to do based on what they were doing. All my uncle's first marriages failed. So I knew I don't want to do that. I knew certain things based on hanging around my uncles. So with that being said, if I'm talking to a young man and I'm trying to let them know what I've experienced, what I've gone through, or we have a confrontation, the first thing they want to do is hop up, get mad, get to talking reckless, disrespectful, so much of the fact that they really want to fight. So do you really want to fight at my age? No. So I realized I was too strong. Let me watch my words, because I know if I was talking to, for example, not to put words in, or I hope I'm saying this right. If I was talking to Manosphere or 187 and we have the same tone based on how 187 is talking, it wouldn't go that far. We're just two grown men raising a voice. We having a conversation. I know when to back off because I'm a grown man. Hopefully 187 knows to back off because he's a grown man. But the dynamic is different when you're talking to a younger and an elder dynamic, because for some reason, they both are in fault. They both want to be superior. The elder wants his respect, and the young guy, well, I respect you, but I know something too. I'm grown. And there is no common ground there. You follow what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. And it's perfect because I was going to ask this question next. Is questioning authority disrespect or seen as intelligence? Because, like right now, like, especially like with the younger people in my life and stuff like that, I tell them ain't no such thing as a dumb question. If you need more,
I don't believe it.
You ask. Well, there can be redundant questions. I don't think that they're dumb. They can be sarcastic. You know what I mean? But well, I guess so. H&M. I'm gonna let you have that. But
What's that first question you asked though? What's the first question you asked? The first one prior to that.
what in terms of older people? Like, what do I ask?
Yeah. For you said, is it disrespectful
Or
if
intelligence? Yeah, or intelligence. So it's like, some people like if they're told or a step-by-step thing, like my parents used to tell me step by step, okay, I need you to do this, because they really wanted me to learn how to do steps in order, do things the correct way, this, that, and the third. But if, like I said, well, why we do it in this way?
Gotcha. Okay. Wow. Yeah. Okay. I got you.
Or intelligence because I'm trying to get more clarification so it sticks better and it helps me remember. You know what I'm saying? Like,
gotcha.
Yeah. So I'm just in that. Do you think that when younger people question authority, do you see that as disrespect or intelligence? Just overall, I know tone and all that stuff matters, but just overall, what do you think?
Who going first? I want to go. Who going first?
Let me say this real quick.
Go ahead.
All right.
I'll go. Because, well, I don't know about the rest of you gentlemen in LA, but I was always told growing up that when it comes to, certain aspects of life, whether it be working at a job or in a police force or military, everyone has their own way of doing things, but sometimes you got to show some respect and do things as they are set according to the protocols. Even if you think your way is better or won't work, you still got to do what the higher ups tell you. Now, as far as questioning authority is concerned, I look at it like, well, if you got a question on how something should go because it's not clear, that's one thing. But to just throw their protocols out the window and do your own thing, that's, to me, disrespect. And that's something I notice when I go to work sometimes. They're supposed to do whatever the hell they want to do. That's not within the protocols of how management or the higher ups set something up. So there's a difference between questioning authority and just simply doing whatever the hell you think is best. The latter will get you into a whole lot of trouble. Just saying, but go ahead.
Okay, let me answer this way. That's a great question because it relates to life, not just the elderly man and the younger man. But with that being said,
beyond that,
there's a difference. Yes, there's a difference between asking a question and questioning me.
Okay, break it down.
Now that's deep, man. That's deep right there.
Yeah, and me and my wife, and because that's why I said it ain't nothing to do with the young and the old. It goes with you and your relationship with your wife or whatever. You could ask me a question. Of course, ask me a question, but don't question me. Example, and I hope I give a good example. If I say to my wife, let's come downstairs. Come downstairs, get the dog. Let's go. If she say, why? What's going on? Don't question me. I'm the husband. I got your best interest. Let's go. Come on. We'll talk about it later.
Okay.
Versus if I'm doing something and I'm working on something and a young man come up and say, hey, I have a question for you. How do you do this right there? Or I don't understand something. Can you? Okay, that's fine. But question me is, I see you putting down that piece of tile. Why you doing it like that? I was taught that you don't do it like that. You do it like this. I don't understand why you doing it. Okay, why the hell you questioning me? That's the difference. Now, as an adult and as a mature person, the question is a genuine question. It was just his tone and how he asked it. Did he mean any harm? So my mature level will be like, he didn't mean no harm. So let me answer it and try to correct him at the same time and teach him, hey, bro, the way you came to me, it was kind of, but I understand what you meant. Let me show you why I'm doing it this way. Did that make sense what I just said?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, it made sense.
Yeah, it makes plenty of sense.
But it's still at the same
thing
like,
in the middle.
But when I was thinking, you took the example with the towel, right? What if they had like an uncle or a father, you know what I'm saying, that actually did show them a different method, and now that they're on the job, they're just sharing with you how they were taught, and you would still see that as questions, like, okay, I get what you're saying, or maybe they just like, okay, well, why do you do it this way? Because like my pops always, I grew up, helping him and this, that, and the third, and he always taught me to do it like this.
Great question. Communication.
Okay.
Communication. That's why I said that communication gap. Because as a mature man, before I was mature, I took it as being that was a disrespected question. You questioning me. But now that I know better, even though it may perceive on the surface, he's questioning me, he really isn't. Like you
Right.
said, maybe he, like you said, his uncle or whatever taught him something, and he know that way. Now he just questioning. I was taught this way. It didn't come out that way, but that's what he meant. I will find that out later once we have a conversation. Now, do the average person break it down like that? No. And that's why we're talking now. But it should go that way. It should. It's easier said than done, though. But it should. Don't get offended. Ask the question. Now, if they still don't get it, then there might be some disrespect there. But that's a whole nother conversation. But before you jump to that conclusion, maybe it's just that communication gap. Maybe it's that age gap. Maybe it's just how he talk. Find out.
Right.
Find out.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's the same thing in the and it's the same thing in the military. When I was in the military, we were told never question the higher ups. You know, the sergeant, staff. Well, you in the military, you know the rank: sergeant, staff sergeant, first class, first sergeant, well, master sergeant, then first sergeant. We were told, do not question the higher ranks when they give you an order. However, if you have a question as far as how something should go, they'll give you a chance to express yourself. Like questions, comments, concerns. We're going on a 3-day mission. This is what's going to go down. Any comments? Any questions? Any concerns or worries? There's a difference there from what I understand anyway, but that's all I mean. Go ahead.
Okay, I just wanted to know really fast, just from and appreciate your service, all the servicemen and women out there. But was it more of like the institution or like of the armed forces that just as soon as you got to basic training or whatever, you just like, okay, I gotta shut up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. Was it something that you would just like you respected in terms of, I'm not sure if you were in the army or but whatever branch that you served, what made you kind of immediately fall in line? Like from day one? Because these are people because these are people that you don't know. Mm-hmm. But they're presenting themselves, like I said, with the uniform. They might have the ranking is showing something on their uniform. Like, what made you fall in line in terms of like just being able to receive direction, information, stuff like that? H&M. Does that question make sense?
It does. Is H&M there? Are you there, H&M?
I'm here. I stepped away, but what happened? I stepped away for a while, my man.
Damn. That whole question was for you.
I heard the question, and I am a fellow veteran, so I answered that question.
Oh, yeah, you did say that. Thank you.
Thank you for your service. One vet to another. Shout out to you for your service.
Appreciate it. I was in the first Desert Storm War. I was in the air when it went from Desert Storm. When it went from Desert Shield to Desert Storm. But with that being said, to answer your question, majority of us go into the service already knowing what it's going to be like. We already know there's going to be a chain of command. There's going to be a strong sense of disciplinarian actions and being told what to do within your first 8 to 12 weeks based on what service you're in. We already know in our mind we're going to have to, hear that word go, submit to the program. Mm-hmm. You already know going in there. The drill sergeant told you, your uncle or your aunt or whoever who was in the service prior to you and your family told you. So you went in knowing that first 6 to 12 weeks, you better humble yourself. Now, within my class of graduation, there were a few knuckleheads who, for some reason, that didn't get the memo. They didn't want to what's the word I just said? They didn't want to relinquish the authority and let someone tell them what to do. They didn't want to submit, and their ass got kicked out with an honorable discharge, and they was forced to stay there on purpose and watch us graduate when they should have just accepted the program and they would have walked off with us. But some people don't get the message, or some people don't understand the program, as they say. To answer your question, but the majority of us know the program. We know that our mind, when we get on that little bus or that little kettle bus, for those who went through basic training, that we know before we got on there, before we took that last hit of that cigarette, we about to give up our lives for the next 12 weeks. Do you really want this? Deal with it. To answer your question.
Okay.
You're damn right. Trust me.
That makes sense.
Now, trust me. It's been. I'm sorry to cut you off. It's been damn near 12 years since 2012, I joined the military. That's how long it's been since I enlisted in the service. 2012 at 27 years old. So you ain't lying, sir. Everything you say is facts, because I went through the same shit when I was in basic training. But I knew what I was doing. I'm no stranger to discipline. My mama didn't raise me to be no damn fool. I just act like a fool, but she didn't raise no fool.
Right, that point.
So I already knew.
Right.
So yeah. I already understood the concept of discipline. And plus, I was already physically in shape, doing martial arts and a little bit of MMA, played sports. I was no stranger to getting smoked, waking up early in the morning, getting smoked by the drill instructors. I was no stranger to that. I was already in shape. So I feel bad for the mofos who go into this mug not knowing what they get themselves into, but they know, or they know, but then
Exactly.
get a wake up
Their
call.
minds are
It's
put
like,
ready for it. Exactly.
yeah,
I agree with you. Again, I
my
concur.
man was damn near, ready for it. Now. Did it catch me off guard? Yes, it did. I imagine somebody fussing and cussing in your face every 5 seconds. That shit, it more pissed me off than it did, scare me.
Yeah,
Because a
that's
part
all
of me
I
be
could
thinking, who
imagine.
the fuck you talking to? I would knock y'all. Oh, no, I'm sorry. You're an NCO.
That
I'm from
part, right.
Chicago. We don't play that bullshit. But when you're in the military, you gotta do things differently. That's what I had to understand. So I get it.
Yeah, I have a lot of uncles that are military. It's my mom's baby brother. He served at Desert Storm. He came and he lived with us after he got came back home. You know, went to college, got back on his feet or whatever. That's one of my favorite uncles. But yeah, I always just wondered. So it's like it seems like it's more about like um the source. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, considering the source, where the direction and the advice is coming from. If it's a like I said, an institution like the services, that makes sense to me. It's still kind of funny that some people just I don't know what they thought it was gonna be. If you saying they got dishonorably discharged, I'm just like, bruh, like all I could imagine is people standing an inch away from my face, spitting and everything, cussing at me. I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. But it's still surprising that some people didn't. I guess they didn't expect that. That's a little weird. But Manosphere, you still here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to skip you. Did you want to give your take on the question? Is questioning authority seen as disrespect or intelligence?
I think everybody has to submit to authority. I mean, we're not, nobody's here by themselves. Somebody can always put their hands on you or always check you at some point in time. I think we have to self-check ourselves. Um, but we have to respect authority. That's how I feel about authority.
Okay. All right, but if you have a question, if there's something that you don't understand, do you think that asking that question is seen as being disrespectful or being intelligent just because you're just trying to find more clarification?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think we all know if somebody's trying to ask a question, they don't know something, they're trying to gain some knowledge and information, and they're coming to you because they think that you can give it to them. I mean, asking a question is smart. And it's you're humbling yourself, you know what I mean, to so that somebody can give you the answer. You want to present that the question in a way so that you can get the answer back in a way.
Well, you definitely seem like you are definitely an elder. I'm gonna put you in that category already because the combination of maturity and the age to me is what contributes to it. And it seems like your perspective is you've got the patience and the understanding towards the younger generations, which I think is what's missing the most. You know what I mean? Because,
Yes.
everybody, there's certain things that I've had to do by myself and I'm very confident in, even when I was younger. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, you can't tell me how to
Mhm.
do this. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
especially if it was something creative. You know what I mean? If I was writing, singing, public, like, like I got this. Like, you can't tell me. You know what I'm saying? But like at the same
Right.
time, it's well, I've always known that, of course, you can learn so much from older generations. I was kind of forced, like I said, to spend time with my grandparents and during the summertime and go to go what we call homecoming. My grandmother, she's from outside of Athens, Georgia, so they still live out in trailers and have outhouses, and we go to the little church. And it looks like the color purple and everything. So like, it's funny how like I guess like we can both young and old, we got so much to offer. We just don't recognize or realize it. Now we've been kind of focusing on like outside people and stuff like that. Have y'all ever or have you experienced any type of generational gap within your own household? like with your children or with your own parents?
Have we?
Any
Can you
type of
repeat that again? Have we experienced what now?
like I said, the disconnect between the generations, like within your own household. Because right now we're talking about, coworkers and people that we kind of experience and interact with like on the outside world. But let's talk about our home because I'm not sure if you guys were watching earlier, but I shared a couple of clips from The Butler, and one of the clips that I shared was the scene at the dinner table, when his son was a part of the Black Panther Party, brought his girlfriend over with the big afro and the slinky, the little slinky tank top and all kinds of stuff. And he basically disrespected his parents, called him a butler to his face. You
Yeah,
know
I
what I
remember that
mean?
scene. Yep.
Yeah.
The British
So,
actor. Yeah,
right,
I know.
Daniel or Yellow O, or yeah,
Uh huh.
that's him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when it comes to our own households, like um, have you all experienced or what have you noticed in terms of like the difficulties in being able to reach younger generations, like within your own household? Because I
Well,
just like for me, and I'll just start this because it might be a little abstract in terms of question, but like I brought up like the first like Fresh Prince or Will Smith, parents just don't understand, right? That whole song. And my sister, I was observing her. She's 9 years older than me. So, she's having issues with my parents and stuff. And I'm hearing my parents talk, like kind of having their discussions on what we gonna do. Like, I'm saying she so this, she so that. So I was just like, I wasn't, I guess, getting to that point until I was maybe in junior high or high school when I realized that, okay, like social circles and school and the different things that I have to navigate through is different than my parents. And I felt like they did not understand. So I kind of shut down the lines of communication. You know what I mean? A little bit. So there was like a little bit of a
You
gap,
know
a
what's funny?
communication gap. But now since like I'm a parent, I know my mom better than I ever did. You know what I'm saying? We talk about, what I mean, about personal stuff now. But when I was a kid, she wasn't, we weren't communicating on the same level. So I was just wondering, in terms of your own household, like what type of difficulties have y'all ran into either with, you and your parents or you and your children?
Damn, that's a good
Yeah,
question. I
and
go
it's
first
hard to
because mine gonna
believe.
be real. Go ahead. Go ahead.
37 years later, that song still hits hard. Parents don't understand.
Right.
Da-da-da-da. Go ahead.
36
Oh,
years later,
Uh,
36 years later, that song still hits.
I can honestly say I
Go ahead.
haven't
Go ahead.
experienced. I haven't experienced that. I have a 30-year-old daughter. Um, I haven't experienced that. And growing up in a household, I'm the oldest of four kids. It was the mother was in the house and the grandmother. Unfortunately, one of them typical stories. My father wasn't in the household, so my grandmother was the quote unquote, if this makes sense, father figure. No, I have to reverse that. My grandmother was a quote unquote mother figure, and my mother, who was working two jobs, was a quote unquote father figure because she was hardly at home. She was working two jobs. So that was my dynamic. I didn't have, that was a great question. I didn't have that issue. Now I have hella nephews and I have great conversations with them and they're all doing great. They're not perfect, but I can honestly say we don't have that. There is an age gap, obviously, but we don't have those issues where they feel like I don't have anything to offer them. When they come and we have a talk, we have great conversations. I can honestly say that. So that's how I would answer that question.
okay.
And
Okay.
they know their uncle. They know what I just stated earlier. I'm a no nonsense. I get straight to the point. I ain't got you ask me a question, you're gonna get the answer, whether you like it or not. I'm gonna give it to you, and then let's talk. And they know I don't mean any harm. So that's that
Mm,
dynamic. But if you don't know me, again, you might get a different reception, and I understand that. So that's why I have to teach myself and calm myself down. It's about the message and how you deliver it. Everyone is not receptive of the message if they're not used to you. So you have to read the room and know who you're talking to, unfortunately, before
okay.
they accept the message.
I also think that what you said a little bit earlier was important. Just leading or including that love aspect. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying this to hurt you. I'm saying this to
Right.
help you. You know what I mean?
and building that trust factor, you know what I'm saying, is big. I try to meet people where they're at. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I feel like I have a young enough spirit where I can translate both to, you know what I'm saying, people in their 20s and my peers in their 40s. Um, but yeah, it's that factor of like, look, I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. I understand. But let me leave you with this type of situation, or leave you with this advice. You can take it or leave it. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's like kind of like what's best, instead of putting pressure on people to be like, like, well, you need to be doing this and this, that. Well, hey, like, look, trust me, I've been through it. You know what I'm saying? This is what I would do. You know what I'm saying? Or this is what I have done. And it does makes it easier to accept. You know what I'm saying? Um, man is fair. Man is fair. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to leave you out. You can always jump in. This is kind of like a free form,
Yeah,
organic
absolutely.
conversation. Yeah.
Yeah, no
But
problem. Absolutely.
have you
Mhm.
when it comes to your family dynamics though, like have you experienced any type of like miscommunication or anything when it comes to either the people who are older than you, or like I'm not sure if you have children or younger people, but have you experienced any type of like miscommunication because of
No, I
age
didn't.
gaps?
I didn't. No, I wouldn't say that. Me personally, I haven't experienced that. As a child, I appreciate the age gaps. I appreciated that my parents don't listen to the same music. Then, like the dynamics of child and adult is already clear and set. It's up for me as a child to prove to to my elders who have control of me, who could tell me when to come in, when not, where to go, right? I want to prove to them that I can handle this. I understand. I know, so that I'm giving more of a leash, and it's more of an understanding. I'm growing and I'm mature, and I understand and I know and I can do the right result and get the right result once you give me this. You know what I'm saying? This leash. So it's up for me to prove to my parents. And what I respect about the older generations from my time is they didn't listen. They wasn't in my world. You know what I mean? It's up for me to
Yeah.
prove to them that I know the right things to do and can handle situations. That, you know what I'm saying? I got all the proving to do. And then when I'm on a level of them, then we all on the same level. We all grown. We all know,
Right.
you know what I mean? So that's the dynamic that I came from. The lines are already clear and set. You know what I mean? You're the
Mm,
child, I'm the adult, these are the adults and the elders. It's no misunderstanding that. It's up for me. I felt it was up for me to show I can handle things, and so that I'm allowed to do more. And then at some point in time, they ain't thinking about me no more. You know what I'm saying? Unless I'm bringing trouble back. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you don't know. You wasn't taught what to do. You acting like you don't know what to do out here or something. You know what I'm saying? So it's more like that. Like, and so I just appreciate the dynamics of we're
Mm,
not the same. You know what I mean? And I think that
mm.
should be showed to the next generation. I'm not on your level. You're not on mine. And when it's time for correction and direction, I'm here.
Right. Right. No, I totally understand. Yeah, having that structure just kind of like established is like, yeah, it definitely will prevent a lot of stuff, because when you get like, I don't know about you, like in terms of like age ranges or whatever, but like me and my nephew, we have a 10-year age gap, and we grew up like brother and sister, but at the same time it's like he definitely knew like I'm your aunt, you know what I'm saying, like I'm in charge when you with me type of situation. And I don't know, like he still comes to me for advice, you know what I mean. We put him on to all the old music because like, no, you riding with us, this is what we listening to, we not listening to that bullshit, you know what I'm saying. So now he goes to his friends and he's like super popular because he knows all the older references, you know what I'm saying? He know about Motown and all this stuff because he soaked it up, you know what I'm saying? He appreciated just like, just the interaction and just what we was given to him. Really quick, I just wanted to thank and welcome Jen to the channel. Appreciate you. Go ahead and make sure that you subscribe and keep the notifications on. I appreciate you being here. We got Bronze Birder. Oh, he's a problem child. He said we don't follow rules. Here's the younger generation coming in like, nah, kicking over tables. You feel me?
And listen, I don't know if he's joking or not, but honestly, that's how a lot of them feel.
Mhm.
So that's why I'm not going to say nothing.
No, I feel you. Jen also says, from what I guess what she's experienced, asking questions seems to be looked as disrespect, and I think that that's a part. Like you want to make sure that like your whoever is trusting you for advice feels comfortable to come to you. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I always just say, there's no such thing as a dumb question. Because I don't want to ever discourage them or have them so much up in their head that they keep something to themselves instead of sharing it. You know what I'm saying? And good, bad, or indifferent. Like, and I tell them this all the time. I can't help you if I don't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to put that pride aside. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I might feel the way that I feel, but I'm going to be able to help you. You know what I'm saying? In one way or another. So that's why I wanted to ask those questions, because it's just, certain concepts I feel like are just misunderstood, you know what I'm saying, in between the young and the old. But as the times change, it's like that's the only thing that's supposed to stay consistent, because like I said, would you rather be like your great grandparents, the silent generation who just bottled everything up, didn't cry, didn't do, you know what I'm saying, like, and kept everything to themselves? Because like I said, my grandmother is still alive. She's 91, and I don't know her, and I feel like that's so sad. Like having conversations, knowing about her as a child, like she just was more like into the dutiful part, you know what I'm saying, of the family and whatever. So she was always the one busy cooking or cleaning while we was playing or whatever. So it's like, honestly, I don't know her, and I don't know. I think that that's kind of unfortunate. But I'm glad.
I think No, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're okay. I was just gonna say I'm glad that like I said, I know my mom. You know what I'm saying? We have conversations, and my kids, they feel comfortable to come, to come to me sometimes. And it gets a little annoying because I'm just like, look, I just told you to do something. This is not a conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like, this ain't no back and forth. Like,
Hey,
but at the same time, in certain instances, it's like, okay, I do need to break something down a little bit further.
Okay.
Understanding. You know what I'm saying? It just depends on what it is. But you got it. Manosphere.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you. I hear what you're saying, and I think because you're saying I like to know your grandparents, or to know. Like I'm just thinking back, like I didn't really know my grandparents. What I think is I know their work, I know their heart, I know who what I'm saying, what they're about. You know what I'm saying, and that's what I could take away from like to intimately know them and know everything that happened to them in their life. I think throughout the generations and times, everybody's going to do what they had to do in their time. And
Right.
you appreciate the people who wasn't sitting on the sideline. What do we do? What do I, trying to figure. They were active. They were doing something and getting something done so that somebody else could live. You know what I mean? And so that's what I get from them. You know what I'm saying? They were helping and making sure people live and people get to the next day and get on in life. And so, you know what I'm saying? That's what I can take away from them.
Yeah.
You know what
And
I
I just
mean?
No,
Yeah.
I just would also want to piggyback. Jen says, yes, there needs to be balance. The older generation were so secretive. You're right. Many of us don't know our parents and grandparents personally. So it's like, even when we have some of these relationship conversations, and the questions, you weren't taught how to be a husband or a wife. And it's like, you have to understand that the people that we were supposed to be learning from, they're just like, just watch me. Because I ain't breaking shit down. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't breaking nothing down.
Absolutely. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
What can you pick up from what's going down?
Yes.
Exactly. Like, I swear to God, like, and it was a benefit to me, but at the same time, it was just like, damn, like at the time, it was a little difficult. But like with my parent, like I told you, I was given instructions in like 3 or 4s. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't just one thing. It was, okay, I need you to do this, then do this, then this, then this. You know what I'm saying? Like, do this in order.
Right.
And I'm gonna tell you one time because I know you smart. You know what I'm saying? You gonna fit, so it would force me to like literally go through my mental Rolodex and replay what my parents told me and be like, okay. And then I figure it out and I do it right. And then it's just like, I don't know, like they were proud of me. I felt proud of myself, but at the same time, there wasn't a lot of talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was not.
Yeah.
And
Great
I was born in
point.
the 80s, you know what I'm saying? So you would have thought that this was like, I was born, in the 70s or the six, like, no, I was born in the 80s, and it still was that kind of disconnect, like, okay, I'm
Yeah.
gonna shoot this shit one time, and
So
then
yeah. Wow. So
Mhm.
you
It really
can
was.
imagine. You can imagine how it was, because I was born in the 70s, 1970 to be exact.
Okay.
So you can imagine how it was then. I didn't have any instructions. Like you said, I didn't have a father in the household. I had a lot of uncles. They were all married, and I knew from experience. And like you said, I'm a very visual person, like this younger generation is. I'm
Right.
visual. So I just sat back and I noticed, unfortunately, what not to do in relationships and marriages versus what to do. And that wasn't the conversation. It's just by me being observant. I was a cousin that go over the cousin's house for the weekend, and I saw the husband and wife dynamic. I hate to say it, and if my uncle was watching, which I doubt it, they wasn't at home. They was always in the street. My aunt was there, but the uncle wasn't. The cousins was there. Wherever the uncle's at, I'm not finna go there. They ended up all divorced. That's all I'm gonna say. So I learned that when I got into my relationships, what not to do and what to do. Not because we sat down and had conversations with my uncle. Nah, I saw from just watching. No, I ain't finna do that to my wife. No, I ain't finna do that. No, I'm gonna move like this. I'm gonna do that because I see what you did and it didn't work. These are conversations I'm having with myself. And I love my uncles. We still have conversations, but I've noticed that when they go play cards, and it's no disrespectful thing, but when they go play cards and have family gatherings, they go play cards, they don't call the nephew. They don't call me, because I'm considered, not to put words on there, I go by my own tune. I love them. I respect them. I wish somebody would, but at the same time, I don't move like that. If that makes sense what I'm saying. So I learned what to do and what not to do.
Right. Yeah, I mean, man, I think that's like almost like the indication, like, that you had wisdom already. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that a lot of people, they think that they actually have to physically touch the stove to know that it's hot, versus watching somebody else make mistakes or do certain things a certain way, and not having to put yourself through certain stuff, but being able to, like you said, identify what's right and what's wrong. You know what I'm saying? With the whole situation. And that's, to me, like I said, it's a part of wisdom, because you don't have to go through it yourself all the time in order to learn anything. You know what I'm saying? You just got to observe and be humble. You know what I'm saying? About the situation.
Now, I'm not going to accept their wisdom jacket because they don't feel right. I'm going to say, I'm being honest. I'm just being serious, because I talk, and I like to talk to people based on my experiences. For real. I know that I messed up a lot. And thank Allah, I'm still here to talk about it. That's why I'm thinking I'm still here, so I could just share. I like to talk, as you can see. So I don't think it's wisdom. It's just me having experience, and I see something. I be wanting a young person to come talk to me. Please come talk to me. I just want to talk to you, bro. Let's have a conversation. But I refuse to go talk to them first based on the climate, because I don't know how receptive they're going to be, unfortunately. But I want the young generation to come talk to me. Let's have a talk. It won't be no judgment passed. It won't be none of that. Do your thing. So in some situations, I wish I could live vicariously through you, because you're doing some things that I could never do at that age. But you're doing it. I give it to you. But there are some things that, hey, bro, you're moving a little bit too fast. Slow down. Let me show you where you could fix some things based on what I've done and didn't do.
Right.
So, but there's a gray area there.
No, I feel you. I mean, we're never going to stop learning. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But even I have been encouraged to, like, you need to have more talks with younger women and this, that, and the third. I'm like, I guess I could, you know what I'm saying? Like, even right now, and this is a great idea, but it's all elders up here. But Lena wanted to know, I wonder if a younger person would go up and share their perspective. Anybody who has questions or anything that they want to add to this conversation is definitely welcome to. You know, it doesn't matter what your age is. Well, I prefer 18 and up. Thank you very much. But the link is pinned to the top if you would like to join the conversation, for sure. I did have one more clip that I wanted to share. This is from somebody who I guess people would consider as wise. His name is Sad Guru. A lot of people probably know him by his face, but not necessarily his name. He's got a perspective on age gap relationship, like, you know, just interactions and stuff like that. And it's not romantic relationships, so don't worry about it. Let me get this pulled up really quick and y'all let me know what you think. Okay, give me a second. Getting it into the studio right now so we can pull it up. Okay, here we
Children
go.
who live away from you, they always love you. That's the way to keep them. If they were with you, ooh, not because you're bad or they're bad, because you need one kind of space, they need another kind of space, both are in the same space, heat will happen. The older generation do not think they're old. The younger generation think that they're old enough. That's the whole problem. How do we handle this is, the old should learn to keep on stepping back. The young will keep on occupying that space. Only thing is, the old should display a certain level of wisdom and experience where the young are little overawed by the old. If you don't do that, then the young will disdain and they'll get rough in so many ways. So this is one thing you have to earn as you get old. You have earned a certain level of wisdom and insight into life, which they're yet to earn, so they look up to you.
All right, that was Sad Guru. I'm not sure if you've ever seen his face, but you know, he basically was saying that like both young and old, especially in the same household, they need their own space because they're living almost like in two different, you know, two different worlds, even though it's the same space. And he was saying it's like that's where the heat and the friction, you know, will kind of occur. And he's suggesting and advising that the older people kind of just step back a little bit and let the young people occupy the space and come to us when they feel in need. What do you guys feel about that or think about that?
100% agree. Everything he said was accurate, and I almost started laughing when he said the older still thinking they're young. He ain't lying, because at times, except when my knees hurt in the morning, I feel like I'm young. I still think I'm young, and I can admit that. I still think I'm damn young until I have a conversation. I'll go over my. Let's keep it real. We all grown. I smoke marijuana. It keeps me sane. So
me too. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah. So when I go over my cousin house, who's 15 years younger than me, and I'm still thinking I'm hip. So I go over there. I'm chilling with him. We smoking together, and his comrades, his associates are around him. And I'm sitting there. We having a conversation, and I realize instantly, Otis, if you don't get your ass up, finish smoking this, and take your ass home, this is not for you. For real. And you got to be real with yourself.
Absolutely.
So when he said that, that hit a nerve, because it's true. And we do have to fall back and let them have that space. And I put in enough time. This is not being cocky. And I love my cousin where he calls me to check on me and to say, hey, I'm just checking on you, cuz. I want to come out and just talk to you. That makes me feel good. And what he just said, they come to you because you left that space for them to come to you. And you're not occupying their space. They know when to come to you if you lived your life the quote unquote right way. So that resonated with me. I land.
All right, I love it.
Let me say this real quick. To piggyback back on what the gentleman was saying, and let me know if this makes any sense. I had a thought about that too. I think you can feel young without having to actually be young. What do I mean by that?
Yes, I do.
I was saying, you and your feet. Well, you say you're Gen X. I'm assuming you're close to 50 because you got a whole decade on me. I'll be 42 next month.
Okay,
so you got a whole 13, 14 years on me, sir. So yeah, so you trying to feel young because you say you can exercise, do this, have a blunt without it hurting you too much. But here you are trying to be young by kicking it with the younger generation, like your nephews and all that kind of shit. That's going a bit too far. You're that old kook that's trying to relive his youth. We don't need that we don't need that kind of stuff. Our time came and went. Let's just accept it. Let me take over as long as they're doing everything right.
Right.
I mean, you could be that cool uncle. Yeah. You could be that uncle that he can go to for advice and can't hang out with his friends and associates.
Right.
I don't do my God kids like that. and feel
Hey, let me give
young
you a
without
perfect
being
example.
young. That's all I'm saying.
Let me give you
Yeah.
a perfect example. And you know what I'm talking about, because you like the age of my cousin. We feel more like brothers because of our dynamic, but we cousins and the age gap is the same. So it feels better to me when my cousin calls me to invite me over for like a fight night or whatever, versus what I used to do. And I can admit this, I stopped it over a year ago, versus what I used to do. I'm bored. Let me just go over to my cousin's house and go chill with him. Wrong move. I have to realize, no, that's their space. I know he loves you. I know he rocks with me, but that's his space. You mature enough now. You got wisdom. Let him call you when he wants you to be in this space. You know he loves you, and that's what happens. He calls me. So now when I go over there, it's because he called me over there. His boys there, but they want me there. So I feel like I can talk. I can be me. I'm not trying to be all young and hip. They accept me for who I am versus me just popping up with my little six pack and my little blunt ready to go hang with them. I wasn't invited.
Right.
Makes sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Like
It makes plenty of sense.
That's where me and my nephew are right now. You know what I'm saying? It's funny because my sister, his mom, she was born in 72. Okay. So trust me, Otis, I understand. It maybe, I don't know. I think that's kind of helped me a bit because, you know, as that being my oldest sis, my, you know, my informal babysitter at times and stuff like that. You just pick up on stuff, you know, and you just, well, one thing that I did, this kind of came a little bit later, you know what I'm saying? Like when I was in my 20s, but like, me and her, we had a really good conversation one time to just like really, I don't know, to just get things off our chest. Like she was just saying like, you know, I had a different set of parents than you did. You know what I'm saying? Even though we had the same parents, when she was born, my parents were young. You know what I mean? They were just starting out in their 20s and stuff like that. By the time they had me, they were established and they were in their 30s, you know? So it was like the version that she saw was different than what I saw because I used to wonder like, why are you like, you know what I'm saying? Just so rebellious and stuff. You know what I mean? Like not totally, but just different from me. You know what I mean? But that was the reason why. And I had to respect that. You know what I'm saying? After a certain period of time. But her son, like I said, my nephew now is to the point where, you know, I don't intrude on, you know, on his parties, his get-togethers or whatever. But every once in a while he will call and he will be like, hey, I'm having a kickback, come through. And that's when I take advantage of it. I don't try to impose. I wait until he includes me. And he includes me a lot more than I thought he would. Like just the other day, and y'all can see this on my channel. We went to the World Cup is here in Atlanta, so it's nuts with the
it's going down there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we was at downtown Decatur the other day because Big Boy put on a free concert. Man, lit. You talk about lit, and I'm talking about white, black, Asian, Hispanic, all ages singing rap. You know what I mean? It was awesome. But we bring the kids out, you know what I mean? So they can kind of just see. I don't know. We kind of wanted them to see us be fun. You know what I'm saying? Because usually what our kids see is, okay, let's get up, let's get breakfast, to get you ready for school. I got to go to work. Let's come home. We make dinner. You know what I mean? Like this was a way for us to kind of like let our kids see our personalities, you know what I'm saying, to have fun with us in the way that we like to, you know what I'm saying? Because when we were in, you know, most of those hits came out when I was in college, you know what I'm saying, or coming out of high school. And it was really cool just to have that type of interaction, you know, with, like I said, my nephew, my brother, my nieces, my children, you know, like everybody was out there and it was great, you know? So, I think that when we do give, you know what I'm saying, people that space, they do end up gravitating towards us naturally. And that's what you want, you know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to be overbearing, you know what I mean? Or seem like, you know, like you said, like you're dismissing or discrediting what they know or where they are in life. You know what I'm saying? You just want to incorporate them in some type of way or show them a different side of you to be like, hey, I'm human too. You know what I'm saying? Like I like to have fun too. I'm not just a serious person that just dresses up for work and comes home and pays bills and gives orders. You know what I mean? Like I'm an actual person. And I know that you are too, and you can come to me. You know what I'm saying? So I think that that type of stuff is important. We got this is the biggest one. Coach Ferg, shouts out to you. Appreciate you. But he is infamous. He calls us crack babies. You 80s babies can't reach the youth under y'all. Youth hate crybabies and lazy adults. See, that's, I mean, if you are
Wow.
a crybaby or a lazy adult, then yeah, they won't really respect you. But that's what we were talking about in terms of just like what is important. You know what I mean? Are you an old fool? Or you know what I'm saying, or are you an elder? Because just because you're older doesn't mean that you are wise or have anything more to offer than the youth does. You know what I'm saying? Yes, girl, born in the 80s, crack baby. He be roasting us too. I'll be like, damn. But y'all made us though. Like y'all made us. That will be the response. There might be, some type of I guess perspective on the younger generations, because like I said, we can just reach over, grab our phone, Google some shit, and be able to pull it up. Even when we have these conversations online, like if you say something, I can be on a different tab fact checking you. You know what I'm saying? Like in real time. So it's like, I don't know, the information is definitely there, the technology is there. But at the same time, it's like the elders are taking advantage and being able to use the same resources. You know what I'm saying? So there's always going to be that back and forth where the older generation says, hey, I've done my part. It's up to y'all now. And the younger people are going to be like, well, all the complaints that you have about me are because of y'all, because y'all raised us. So it's just like this endless blame game. I don't know. Jen says he's not lying about the generations ahead of us. Ain't no better. They was the ones doing see exactly who was doing the crack. Okay, because I was born in the 80s. I had no
And
handle.
let me just say this:
no handle in what was going on. Okay,
you remember remember
hold on.
X time period. We were just born.
Your microphone is kind of in and out. Is your signal strong?
Yeah. It's lagging.
Okay. All right, you can try it again.
Saying started in the Generation X time period. We were just born into it. So kind of best to question started this whole thing. Gen X or millennials? I didn't know what the hell crack was until I was at least in middle school. So
yeah, I had heard about it, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, my parents, they didn't have it in those types of environments or situations. But again, I mean, that just contributes to the divide. I mean, I think, acknowledgement is important. You know what I mean? If there were missteps or whatever, I mean, shoot, if the generation before us was more concerned with just providing, right? Want to give my kids all the things I didn't have. Now we got game systems and you know what I'm saying, all kinds of stuff because they're making better money, and they're just buying things. You know what I mean? But they're still coming from a place. They were raised by the silent generation, so they're still not talking to us. They're just giving us stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
right.
It's always going to be that type of situation. But if there's no acknowledgement, like, it's almost like this whole slavery thing. Like, shoot, I don't want to hear nothing about why Black people is this, that, and the third. Y'all haven't even apologized for what the hell you did. I just think that acknowledgement means something. You know what I mean? Besides just like what he says, victim blamers. And I'm not sure if he's talking about the younger generation or the older ones, but he says, we started the baby daddy, baby mama generation. Now look how weak-minded our kids are. Victim blamers. That's an interesting comment.
Be fair. Well, to be fair, let me say this.
You said what?
I'm sorry. I was saying to be fair, because I don't know about y'all, but I knew people who were having kids between ages 18 and 25. My homeboy who just got married a few days ago had his first daughter at 18. I knew people that was having kids.
Yeah, your microphone.
Gen X and millennial, we kind of. Oh,
you keep
start the whole. Say
You
what?
keep you keep
Your,
like
your
breaking
microphone going in and out real bad. You have a bad connection. It's breaking up real bad, man.
real bad. But
Uh,
yeah,
this
this is
internet
funny.
signal is lagging. But
Yeah, see,
yeah,
we
can you
were
hear
the
me now?
dare. Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying. Yeah, I knew people that was having kids 25. So yeah, we started it. But don't get me wrong. But we had to, how should I put it? Waver the storm, deal with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, even when they talk about election cycles or whatever, right? There's always, whoever comes into the presidency is always going to inherit the mistakes and the problems from the previous one, right? But it's like there was an inception point, you know what I'm saying? There was a starting point. Like you can't, I mean, the best that we can do is just acknowledge what is dysfunctional and what's not, and just try our best to do what's right, you know what I'm saying, regardless of what we were born into. But at the same time, like I said, it's just that comparison, and that's just that in that criticism is what is going to keep the old and the young kind of separated for right now, because there is no understanding. And I just wanted to and it's funny, yeah, because Tiff brought up, yeah, we were the dare kids because y'all were the crackheads, you know what I'm saying, like, but at the same time, y'all was
Yeah,
still smoking
exactly.
weed, y'all was still drinking, smoking cigarettes, and doing everything else. But you're telling us to stay off drugs. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Sometimes it's just hard when you don't see the results or you don't see the consistency in the person that is giving you the advice. It's a little difficult to take it. And I understand what you guys are saying. Do as I say, not as I do. But I think that that's a part of the problem, because we want to see a result. Like, you know what I'm saying? We want to see, okay, like, if you telling me to move a certain way, I need to see how that worked for you. I need to see, you know what I'm saying? Like what that's going to look like for me, because now you're asking me to come, to rise to a different level, which is going to be difficult already. Right. Because if I'm on level 5, but you're expecting me or advising me to be on at least level 7, that means I'm going to have to dig into myself and find discipline and all these other things from somewhere. Because if the people that are around you are saying do as I say and not as I do, then it's like that already indicates that they don't even have the strength in them to do what they're advising me to do. But they're expecting me to raise my level up, you know what I'm saying, so I can perform to their expectation. It's just, I don't know. I think it's just really confusing sometimes. And I don't know. I think so many of us just have hangups, you know what I mean? Like, well, I had to go through it, or I went through worse, you'll be fine. What you crying about? What are you complaining about? I had it worse. And that's not the point. I don't think that that's the point at all.
It ain't. It really isn't.
I think it's about, like I said, just trying your best, the here and now. You know what I mean? Because the same issues and stuff that existed 20 years ago, 30 years ago, it's a whole nother set of circumstances these days.
Yeah. And I read a statistic that said this current generation, they're not as, sexually outgoing as as our previous millennials and Gen Xers were. Because think about it, we were hooking up, having one night stands. I'm pretty sure y'all the freak Nick and how popping it was in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. It was doing all that shit back in the day.
Yeah, my parents had some good ass time, and we moved to Atlanta the year that they stopped Freaknik. So I never experienced that.
Me neither.
Thank the Lord.
I never did it. By the time I heard about Freaknik, I think they canceled it. I was like 18, heard about Freaknik, but by that point it was already on the verge of being canceled. So I never experienced it either. But I've been to the clubs, I've been to the gentlemen's clubs. So we was doing all sorts of stuff, but I'm hearing a statistic that says young generations today are not having as much sex as they were back in as previous generations were. They're not producing kids as much. So it kind of begs the question, are Gen Z and Gen Z Alpha learning from our past mistakes? Having a freak offs and having one night stands didn't, became a detriment, or are there other forces at work here? Because I'm seeing too much of a disconnect with online dating and dating apps as opposed to just meeting people concrete like we did back in the day. Yes, the teenage birth rate may have died down, kids out of wedlock rate may have died down, but the disconnect has gone up thanks to online dating and all this other stuff. That's what I'm noticing anyway. Like, we don't meet concretely anymore. It's all about algorithms and online dating instead of connecting through personality, attitude, maturity like you did in our generation. So am I missing something here, or is that what's really going on?
Well, that's a whole nother, to me, that's a whole nother conversation, but I'll answer it real quick. The disconnect to me came from with the invention of this new technology. And I'm gonna give you a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Again, I'm 55 years old. When I was clubbing back in the damn early 90s and whatnot, when I was going to the club, I couldn't wait till after that third or fourth, fifth song, fast song, because we knew what was coming up next. Right, them 3, 4, 5 fast songs was going on. We looking and eyeing that female to get the nerve up with them butterflies in your stomach to go across the room and ask her to slow dance.
Right.
We don't slow dance no more. We don't have the conversation with the opposite sex anymore. Technology ruined all that. So now you have these phones. Now you having a conversation with the girl 10 feet across from you with the phone. You're not in their face. You don't have the butterfly feeling. You don't have none of that. You don't get the, excuse my French, you don't get the erection when you get next to a slow dancing. That's all human. That's all part of growing up. That's gone. So now you got these computer babies who don't know how to show that sensitive side. They have no idea for us that aspect. They're sensitive for us crying and mentioning and all that, but for us showing their emotions to the opposite sex, they have no idea. They don't know what dating is. They don't know how to do that. None. And I land my plane.
No,
yeah, that's true. And to add to that, I'm sorry to cut you off, LA.
No, you got it. Go ahead.
Yeah, to add to that, but maybe y'all notice this too, but I'm hearing stories of people having relationships with AI companions, AI boyfriends and girlfriends instead of just real people. Now, is that becoming a thing now? AI is, I mean, last year I did a whole show talking about AI sex bot becoming the new world order of dating. So do y'all think that's going to be the new thing now?
No.
And social media ain't going to fuck it up. AI companions will.
No, because I think at the end of it all, people have a need for connection. They gonna have to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Like one way or another, even if it starts online, eventually they gonna have to, meet up. They gonna have to talk. They gonna have to see if they're really compatible past the texting. So they're gonna have to get out their bubble with one way or another. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that anybody or people in mass are not going to be falling for this AI bullshit. Like these are just those are people, in my opinion, who just literally they just gave up. You know what I'm saying? Either that or their experiences were so toxic or bad. You know what I mean? That maybe they're turned off, or they just want to be in more control of the situation. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be, because I mean, we're breaking out of those expectations, and all that stuff. And I wanted to add to what you said, H&M, about the teen pregnancies. Hell, yeah, I think that they are learning from us. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, we're coming online and we're having these conversations day after day, and it's not really like, from what I've noticed, it's not really a negative thing, like from the woman, you know what I'm saying? Like if she's like a single parent or whatever, but I know that the younger women are listening and paying attention to all the flack that single mothers get. You know what I'm saying? Don't nobody want to be bothered with that shit. You know what I mean? Like we're not seeing the teen moms, the 16 and pregnant, the shows, that's not happening no more. When I lived in I lived in Florissant, Otis, so I know, trust. Yeah.
I'm in Florissant now. Damn.
I went to Hazelwood Central.
Damn, that's crazy. Oh my God. Hazelwood Central?
Yeah, that was my high school.
Damn, LA. I live in
Hazelwood
Blackjack.
Central.
I'm in it right now. Wow. A high school.
Yeah.
Wow. Damn, LA.
East.
I didn't know your background was here. Damn.
Yeah. Well, I moved around about every 5 years, but yeah, I lived there from 6th grade to 10th grade. But y'all give me just 1 second, okay? We got the troublemaker in the house. Let's see what he got to say. We got Coach Ferg in the building. Let's go. Let go. All right, coach, here's your time to shine. What you got on it? What you got
The,
on
tr-
us crack
the,
babies?
the troublemaker. That's crazy.
Yeah, you one of them. You just one of them. Don't feel bad.
Listen, I
Shout out
was
to
a
Coach Ferg
teenager.
with his wise words. Grace, what you got to say? You heard?
Hey,
I
let's
was
go.
a teenager when crack hit the
Oh, now
streets
you don't want to
across
talk. Come on, sir.
America,
Don't be
right?
shy now.
I'm talking. Can y'all hear me?
I can't hold on. H&M, I think that you
Can you
need to
hear me?
probably come back because yes, I can, Ferg.
Okay.
Because
Yes, you're fine.
yeah, Ferg is talking about. I don't think you can hear him, hustler. You got it, coach.
Again,
Back.
I was a
I'll be back.
teenager when crack started hitting the streets across America, north, south, east, and west, right? So they was telling us that 1 in 4 of us was gonna make it. That's why when you look at that time between like 82 and 90, college enrollment increased 300% across America for Black people. HBCUs went up, all colleges enrollment went up with Black people because we were watching the Cosby Show. A lot of people were coming for that. And most people that stayed home in their neighborhoods and just wanted to work, they got caught up in the crack scene. So now you got young boys selling to mamas and it didn't affect America until mothers started getting hooked on drugs. And that was our biggest problem in our community because it got to a place where you could someone else's mother could discipline you in a sense and then go tell your mama. And as once we became adults, it just got out of hand because Gen X had left school with the skilled trades. They gave us vocational schools. Girls was getting cosmetology license. People were becoming entrepreneurs before people even knew what that was. And as you got into the 90s, what they do? Think about the 90s, who they ushered in. They ushered in P. Diddy and R. Kelly behaviors. They ushered it in right behind people. And so as y'all became adults, like everything was sort of already being damaged. They blocked a lot of access for y'all young folk. They started getting it. No, so go ahead.
Oh, so okay, so because I was kind of like I said, just mentioning just the whole acknowledgement piece. You know what I mean? I think that's what a lot of younger people are. That's where their attitude is coming from. Like, okay, we can hear your complaints about our generation. However, if we're born in the middle of it, if we're well, after all this stuff has the ball has already been put into place and now is rolling. Like, why is your I guess your perspective of like we're victims?
Because you know what, LA? I
What?
worked in the schools for 20 years. I very seldom see Black folks show up for their kids. I was the one talking the kid off the ledge. I was the one having kids cry on my shoulder because mama and daddy are selfish about the kid. I saw it firsthand. I was in Chicago, some of the worst public schools in the country, but I also saw the ingenious of kids once they were paid attention to. A lot of parents started, I ask people this all the time. When was the last time you saw your mama's ass and cheeks outside? Probably never, right?
Yeah.
But then we got to a place where it was okay for mama to go outside like that. So who's more affected, the child or the parent? The child. But the child's not going to speak out against the parent until they get older. The child is not going to say, mama, put your ass up outside. All of my friends are seeing it. I'm grown. I can do what I want. This is how adults pass down the information. I came up with a time where people expected you to be better despite your circumstances. Most people didn't linger in the fact that they didn't have stuff. Okay, how we get it? Oh, I got to work for it. I got to get it on my own since mama, she got to work and take care of all of us. Most people understand like, oh, I can't be asking mama up into my 30s and 40s. I got to get it on my own. And people live through that. Then when we started having kids, we overcompensated. Oh, I didn't grow up with this. I didn't grow up with that. So let me do more for my kids. And now we hear in this
Right.
modern time, most teenagers are fat and overweight with low self-esteem and can barely read. That don't start when you come outside. That start in your home. That
Mm-hmm.
start with, and it has, and again, I can't blame my parents for stuff that I did not learn once I turned 21. They wasn't around me. My mother and father wasn't around me when I was about to have sex, whether it was unprotected or protected. I knew I should be protecting myself. So I can't complain about what my parents didn't give me because I grew up with both parents in my house. I had 5 sisters. None of my sisters were pregnant before graduation. All of my sisters are married today except one, but she's been in a relationship. She only been in 2 relationships since I known her. But a lot of people were allowed to just figure things out on themselves. And when you get young people, we could go places our parents couldn't go. We were clubbing it up every weekend. The girls was clubbing, the boys was clubbing. And I'll shut up about this. Anybody listening, if y'all parent and y'all mother and father still alive, go have a conversation with both. Ask mama, why did she choose your slow ass daddy? Because she liked him at the time.
Oh, yeah.
And I say it out of love though. And ask daddy, why didn't he protect himself by wearing a condom and you were created?
Oh my God.
I mean, people won't ask those hard questions because most of y'all mamas won't let y'all know that she was a freak.
Lord.
She ain't gonna let it say that. She was in church when y'all became of age.
Ferg, oh my God.
Come on,
I
man.
see. That's why I'd be like, okay, you want to bring up Chicago? Like I got a place for everything. My parents put us in Homewood, Flossmoor. We didn't see none of that shit.
Okay, Homewood, Flossmoor. I know Homewood. It's in the south. That's in that's by University Park and all of that. I've been there before. I worked out there. Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. I think a part of it, I mean, yeah, we can hopefully, you can get yourself into a place that's environment wise, you know what I'm saying? That's good for your children. Sometimes you have to make a sacrifice because it's expensive to live in nice places. You know what I mean?
But it was okay. But LA, it was okay even in the hood because you wasn't see when y'all were started school, busing had already started. When Black people were taught by Black teachers in the Black communities, Black kids thrived at everything. We controlled the sports, we controlled the debate team, we controlled all of the sciences and math. Once they started busing us to the white schools, now Black kids are getting dumber and dumber, lower self-esteem because you didn't have a teacher there to push you. You didn't have a teacher there to say, hey, instead of me sending you to the principal, let me call your mama. Because your mama's sitting next to me in church. I see your mama every Wednesday. So once they started taking that away, now you don't have that same type of motivation with Black children. Y'all, it's unfortunate. It's just timing. It's not everybody's bad. But you can't spend your adult life complaining about shit that you didn't go through before you. You have to focus on the here and now and how can I be better despite of the generations before us did things despite of their condition. They made a better way. They were richer than us. They were more resourceful than us, and they applied what they learned. They didn't make excuses. They just did it.
But Coach Ferg, don't you think that changes in the economy over the years and all that stuff, like nothing has stayed the same? So it's like, I just think it's a different set of circumstances, a different set of struggle. You know what I'm saying?
But our struggle has never been the American struggle. Think about it. We were the richest during America's worst time in history. Mm-hmm. During the Great Depression, Black people had the most money. We never trusted the banks. Now we trust the banks. Older people back then didn't run their money to the bank. They hid that shit in walls and under the mattresses and all of that. So they had cash money. We run to the bank We not, and that's the only thing. Yes, you always account for inflation, and I'll shut up after this. Go look up the Pullman Porters. People sort of heard of that sporadically. The Pullman Porters back in the 1800s, Pullman, Pullman Porters.
All right.
Go look up them. They back in the early 1900s, they were making $80,000 per year. Back then, I ain't talking about 80,000 that translate today. $80,000 cash back then. Why? Because they saved their money. They didn't go out and spend. Think about it. An average American today. Let's break it down. The average American day go out and just one day, I guess if they going to go out, get an outfit, they go spend $300 to $500 on one dumbass outfit that barely fits. Instead of saying, okay, let me break. If I got others, if I'm responsible for others, I'm not going to spend it all on myself. But we prioritize ourselves first, despite having kids that can't read, kids that fat and overweight, low self-esteem. We ain't caring about that. I got to go out. I got to get me my groove on. I got to get me some. I need to do. It's I instead of my. What's within my circle. And that's all I seen working in the schools. Your mamas wasn't coming to the school with a monkey out around some 15-year-old boys. No.
I gotta ask you a question. Are these inner city schools are you talking about?
Inner city, Chicago, West Side, South Side, Indianapolis, George Washington House. I'm talking inner city.
Okay.
I don't.
And I'm only asked that because it's kind of like a trend that I see. There's certain people who, have worked in mental health for a certain amount of time, people who work with, inner city youth or whatever. And what I've noticed is that their overall opinion of the public is, especially, whatever they deal with every day. And it's different. You know what I'm saying? If you go out to the suburbs, and it's funny because my kids, they went to a performing arts elementary school. And most of the people, well, at least half of the participants in the spelling bee were young Black boys. There were so many Black boys that were on. They had a literacy team, literally, well, in Gwinnett County, Georgia. So it's a really good school system. But they in elementary school, they pick the gifted students, and throughout the course of the year, they have to read 10 books. You know what I'm saying? Like books, no pictures or whatever. At the end of the quote unquote season, they actually will have a competition asking them about context, clues, characters, antagonists, protagonists. There were Black boys in there. There were a lot of Black people who were on the honor roll. But like I said, you gotta look outside and go to the burbs, man. Like I get it, the inner city is gonna be what it is. But that's
LA, but that's the thing. That's how it shifted. It once was a time where the inner city was the place to be. That's what I'm saying. They were the place to be. But now, again, people try to run from it. And when you go out to the suburbs, I found this out working within the schools. Most inner city schools, most of those parents are renters. They're not homeowners. They're renters. So when you're renting, you don't have collective bargaining. What that means is you can't dictate what curriculums they bring into the school. But when you go to the suburbs, those are taxpayers. They can dictate whether or not LGBTQ can come and read to their kids. They can dictate type of subjects that can be implemented into the school. But that's the difference. You don't have that in a lot of inner cities. Just people send their kids to school. They don't go to they stop doing PTAs. Then they had another little program. Parents didn't show up for it because they expect the teacher to do all the heavy lifting. But it was a time where when I learned to read, we sat in reading circles. All our little slow asses sat in that circle. We all had to take a turn stuttering our little words the first couple of days, first couple of weeks. But then it taught us how to speak up in public because we're around other little slow ass kids like us. It taught us how to be more confident in articulating our words. So we had to get used to that on the fly. and it worked for a lot of people. But then we got back to this, oh, my baby, he's emotionally distraught because he can't read. Yeah, who's practicing? It takes practice.
Yeah.
Is all
Yeah,
I'm
for sure.
saying. So
Yeah. All right, those are some good points. I'm a, just I wanted to reference what you had mentioned because this is just for everybody, anybody that's listening. Jen had a question. How do we get back to that? Black owned, operated, and invest everything. You brought up the Pullman Porter, so I just wanted to share this with everybody.
hmm
A group of men hired to work for the railroads as porters on sleeping cars. Starting
yes,
shortly after the American Civil War, George Pullman sought out former slaves to work
slaves. Yep.
on his sleeper cars. Their job was to
hmm
carry passengers' baggage, shoe shines, and set up and maintain
hmm
sleeping berths and serve passengers. Pullman porters served American railroads from the late
hmm
1860s until the Pullman Company ceased
hmm
its United States operations on December 31st,
1960.
1968.
Yep. I and it's unique about that because if people can ever want to dig into the story, there's an example in the Malcolm X movie where you see it
Mhm.
when he was on the train. That's the part of that.
Yep.
But Pullman porters could not live in the town of Pullman. They could not live in the town, but they never were not confined to that town. They could live anywhere in America. That's how they was able to get messages from town to town, from black folk to black folk, because Pullman porters lived all over, everywhere. And it wasn't a train company. They were luxury trains that were
Mhm.
attached to rail company cars. So he had a train for everything. And those people, and that's like you mentioned, he hired former slaves because he knew traveling in the South, they would be called all kinds of names, and they would have the decorum to sort of absorb it and deal with it in that capacity. But those were
Oh,
that's why they were some of the first wealthy black folk of that time. $80,000 a year, cash money in the late 1800s. That's
Oh,
unthinkable.
it is. And
that
thank you for
is.
sharing that because I did not know that. Thanks for pulling that up. I did not
Yeah,
know that. That's
read it
crazy.
up.
I
Read
got
the
the link.
story. It's a story. Yeah.
Yeah, I got the link in the chat too, in case you forget. You want
Okay.
to get into a little bit further. Yeah,
Yeah.
those things. I mean, I wish we could. I mean, definitely need to get back to that, man. But somebody else had put something in the chat. Hang on just a second.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm going.
And this is another caveat. I know that the world's made up a whole bunch of people, but whether we talking about racial issues, gender issues, whatever, we always are forgetting about the people who are like who are actually structuring these systems. Dude dreaming in the dark, I think he's coming from your side, Otis. He asked, it is because of the government they created high medical costs and high living costs? Maybe I don't want to like focus on those two specifically, but what do y'all think about like the role that the government plays with everything? Do you think that's something that we should even consider? We should just keep on doing what we need to do? Because
The government.
what I see is, a lot of people, like I said, they're just kind of taking it out on the person who's closest to them instead of, aiming for the top, which I get it. That's a difficult task at times, but you know what I mean? It just seems like we're taking the easy route out and just, focusing on the person who's closest to us in proximity. But what do y'all think about the influence of government? Do you think that that's something that we should even be worried about, focused on? Should younger people get more involved into politics, legislation, things like that? What do y'all think? And Black Manosphere, I want to hear from you too. Whoever wants to start. Otis, you're off mute, so I'll let you go first.
All right. I'll get mine out the way. It's not going to be enlightening at all. I'm going to be honest with you. It's not going to be nowhere near enlightening.
Simple, yes or no, whatever.
The government, I don't put too much emphasis on the government on this level for the type of conversations that we're having. And hopefully that makes sense what I'm saying. The government to me doesn't come into play until we as a people force this dynamic, the elderly versus the youth versus our conversation first is trying to get the relationships together. The government to me has nothing to do with this in that aspect. So it's hard for me to answer that. And if it could be more of a direct question, because to me that's kind of a broad question. To me, the government has nothing to do with this instance. To me, that's why I want somebody else to go, unless I could probably tailor my answer based on what somebody else says. Because to me, it has nothing to do with it at this point.
Yeah, I totally agree with Otis. I think we should keep the government out of things and get things straight with us. You know what I mean? As far as trying to reach higher offices and things in the government, I mean those are your own personal aspirations and things like that, and which is good. And we should have more representation in higher offices of government. But overall, I think we should keep the government out of our personal lives and things that we can get straight amongst ourselves.
That's interesting. I wanted to share really quick, and then you got it, Coach. Just the comment that's on the screen. Jen says the government is the hand behind most of our tangible issues, resources.
Listen, it's the silent generation, early boomers that are blocking our progress, right?
Oh,
because
wow!
Because
hey, no comment. I'm going on mute.
But these people have been in office for years. They don't share information to younger people in the community. They don't show up when things happen to us unless they can grab a buck out of it. And again, some of our problem is it ain't the government. It's more of man against woman, because for laws to change, regardless of LA, of how you feel about some stuff that I said and I feel about some stuff that you said, when it comes to issues that benefit us as a whole, or even if it's something that's going to benefit men or women, we don't stand together. We stay divided. And the government, guess what they doing? They sitting back watching us. They watching us. They don't have to step in. They like, oh, these niggas gonna fight amongst themselves first. Let's watch them.
Ooh,
So
I'm sorry.
I mean, it's an easy play though. It's an easy play. We talk too much. We tell all our playbook before we even in the game. That's all it take is both sides to stand together regardless of how we feel. That's why I hate when people talk about how they feel. The world don't give a damn about how you feel. It's about what's truthful and what's logical. And a lot of that shit they do ain't logical. But we be so caught up in our feelings that we can't get past that. Instead of saying, LA, I know we fight all the time about this, but this is bigger than us. Let's put this aside and we go stand arm in arm like the white folk do and the Democrats do when they come out on TV, but they playing golf together, got week-long picnics together. They already making the deal before they come to us, and that's where we go wrong. That's just my.
I just got a little bit to add on to that, because I don't know. Earlier in the stream, I don't care. I will admit it. I'm a conspiracy theorist. I don't believe in coincidences at all. Okay. I think that, I get it. We should be putting the bigger picture in the forefront. Just, you know what, let's just do what we got to do. However, I don't think that we should be ignoring what they're doing, because they've always had a handle in our stuff. Isn't one of the constant complaints about, just to get assistance, and the black man had to be out the house? Like, don't you think they've been tampering with people and the population for a while now? It does affect us. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we fall for it. We fall for it.
That the government doesn't matter. I'm a little confused with that.
I'm glad you said that. See, and I apologize for cutting you off. See, I'm glad that's why I needed more of a tangible example of what you meant by do we need to rely or talk about the government? Now that you gave me an example, and that was a perfect example. Perfect example. So now I have something to say. That is true about the welfare system. The woman can't get any financial assistance from the government unless the father is outside the house, which is a manipulative form technique to keep the father outside. So yeah, so I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. Now we're talking about something because the government has their own hand in that. Because if you're trying to tell me the only way you can get assistance for the mother and the child is the father cannot be in the household, quote unquote, come around. So therefore, you got the sneak. You can't have the assistance. You got the, and also too, it's putting a hindrance on the family because now the woman is relying on the government to keep this quote unquote Section 8 house to pay $8 a month for a 3-bedroom, knowing you got a relationship with a man, but you don't want that you're going to hide that relationship and it's going to be an unfruitful relationship because you're not in the household. So now you're going to continue to live this lifestyle of I got kids, but the father or the man figure is not in the house because I want to keep this $8 a month payment for the Section 8 house. So I got you. Now, I don't have the answer for it, but I got you. The government does have a hand in that respect. I land.
All right.
Yeah,
And it's
I
fair.
agree.
Y'all off of mute. Y'all can go ahead if you want.
Yeah, I agree.
Go
I
ahead,
think
bro.
we fought for those games that the psychology and the games of keeping us apart. And it's up for the women to not fall for the government games or side with the government against her man and family. I think they practice in certain like mouse utopias or certain experiments on us, and it's like our women fall for it. You know what I mean? And I think that's got a little bit to do with things.
All
Yeah.
right, hold on, because I just wanted to use it as one example. I mean, you can listen to any. I mean, just listen to Frances Cress Welsing. She can break down a lot of different, correlations when it comes to why Black people are on the bottom, and the issues that we have between men and women. I just wanted to use that. I don't want to focus on that because that ordinance didn't even last that long, and women went to the Supreme Court went to the Supreme Court to get that reversed. Okay, so I think that was only in place for like a couple years. Everybody thinks that Claudine just was throughout decades, and it's like it wasn't. So I don't want to focus on that. I just wanted to bring up at least an example of how the government has had. I mean, it's just like being on the plantation and dealing with the Willie Lynch letter. I mean, it was always to divide. You know what I'm saying? Old, young, man, woman, whatever. Like, so it to me, it's the same. And I think
LA,
it's foolish to ignore that.
our biggest detriment in our community has been our churches.
Oh, here we go.
It's been our churches.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Here we go.
One, because pre-civil rights, the church was a place men and women congregated to come up with the solutions for the community.
Right. You're right.
Once the government was able to infiltrate the churches, the messaging even changed. The messaging started to divide us as a community because, again, pre-civil rights and civil rights, it was young and old together.
Oh,
it wasn't
separate.
Right. But when you went to church, the men were preaching about being together, working together. Now it's about thy enemy. Who's thy enemy? Because the pastors don't show up in thy enemy when you got a building fund and ain't no church built a house, paid Miss Betty's water bill, paid your grandmama been going to the church all her life and she ain't had a bill paid. She ain't, she ain't had no relief set.
Come on now, you preaching now.
And in churches, it's easy to manipulate the mind. And this is the transition. That's why you're seeing less men in the church, because as men, when you grow older, if you understand yourself, you understand what's right and wrong, and you sort of take a side. But if I can go get $50,000 free from the government, F you niggas outside. I'm going with the daddy who paid me the $50,000. Think about it. You get Section 8, you're getting at least $1,000 to $1,500 on your rent. So that's over $12,000, $15,000. Then if you got 2 or 3 kids, you get $800-900 food stamps. You do that throughout for 12 months. That's another $15,000 almost. So you almost at $30,000 free. Then if you're getting child support, For two of your kids, you getting another $10,000. So you getting resources without the need of a man. And I'll shut up after this. The one thing black folk ain't never did, luckily the younger folk are getting better at it. Niggas ain't stopped having sex ever. Y'all, and it ain't got nothing to do with just men, because y'all women, when y'all was young and y'all liked the dude, y'all was busting him down in the back seat of a Jeep. Y'all was busting him down on the school grounds in the back. Teenagers, but it was teenagers though. See, that's the difference. It was teenagers on teenage love. Since they gave us R. Kelly and Diddy, now the grown dude is going to the high school, and it's all a part of manipulating. You want to manipulate the easiest people? Take the father's mindset out of a house. People are going. That's why these boys now, y'all boys, they want to put on y'all skirts now. They don't want to play rough and tumble sports. They want to dress like y'all, look like
Oh,
y'all, and fight y'all to be y'all. So I'll shut up.
Well, it seems like it's I don't know, you kind of revealed something though, coach. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we have to look at the roles that we both play. That's true accountability, right? So we can't bring up
Yes.
the mothers being in survival mode, okay? Because let's keep it real. I don't care who you talking about. A woman who has a child with a man, they want that family. They want that family. Now, can she have it, or will she have it? That's kind of, contingent, especially these days, up to the dad. You know what I'm saying? It seems like people are having babies with folks that they don't even like anymore. But still,
what will she sacrifice to have the family? What will she sacrifice to have the family?
What would she sacrifice to have the family? I mean,
Right.
I feel like, my people I come from, I felt like they definitely did everything that they could to keep things together. Like I said, I come from a big family. They were Black Catholics, in the Midwest, had 18 kids with the same people, stayed together the whole time. You know what I mean? So the sacrifice that especially like my grandmother made, because, I knew her very well. You know what I'm saying? That was my girl. You know what I'm saying? And she would just say she learned how to compromise. Everything was not worth the fight. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, 'cause I remember, because
Right.
my grandfather, he passed when back in like, I was probably like 4 years old. So this is back in the 80s. My grandmother passed away in 2012. You know what I'm saying? So I remember going over to her house one time, and she was like, she had both hips replaced, just went through a whole lot. But anyway, so she was like, before we left, she was like, hey, Lauren, can you change the channel, put the Buckeyes on? And I was like,
football, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't know that you was a Buckeye fan. She was like, well, being with your granddad, I had to learn how to be one. So it was about compromise. That's one thing that could happen, but it has to be reasonable. You know what I'm saying?
But LA, you spoke to something unique, right? And this is the thing. It's typical in America that the man would pass first based off how he would exert his body most of his life. Most of our grandparents had to do physical work, so it takes a toll on your body, right? But also the people before us, they looked at the bigger picture. They didn't look at this individual thing. And again, what grandmamas didn't tell a lot of young folk is that granddaddy bought the house. He the one paid for it. I stayed home and raised y'all slow asses so y'all wouldn't have to worry. But then they only see it like, oh, big mama, grandmama, yes. But granddaddy set the foundation. And a lot of people never got that because a lot of people don't know they both sides of it, don't know grandmama and granddad. They don't know that. So
this stuff be sounding like a different language. Maybe I was just really fortunate, man. I swear to God, because I hear you, Coach, but at the same time, I'm just like,
Did y'all take pictures at y'all church with the families? When I was a kid, I even still got the pictures that churches used to take pictures with the family lineage, grandparents, great grandparents, mama, daddy, kids. There used to be a family pictures that everybody take. They used to create these yearbooks. It's almost like a yearbook, and it would be the family lineage. We're gonna take pictures of the church picnic, the pastor preaching on the day anniversary. But it was always that section to where they took a picture of the grandparents with the kids, then the parents with the kids, then the kids by themselves, and they just broke it down that way. But as we got into this modern time, the pastors, most pastors back then had a part-time job. Now these dudes is working full-time, getting all that money, and still ain't paid grandmama's mortgage yet.
So what's the breakdown with the men then?
But because the man fell in line with the government. The government, you fall in line with this government. Yeah, in the churches, was it 501(c)(3). Black people, and this is why I would tell anybody, why would you go give a church $200 or $300 of your money a month when you can set it in a interest bearing account for your kids to grow up? I'll give the church $5, you ain't built a building yet. What building they don't even, it used to be where people in the church worked on the church. They hiring somebody else to come and do the job. They want, you know what I'm saying? So it's not building
up. How did the men fall in
community.
line with the government? How that work out, Coach Berg? How did the men fall in line with the government?
Because the preachers stopped preaching against the government. The preachers stopped standing up.
Okay,
they don't. That's all I'm saying.
So it sounds like, because I'm listening, you know what I'm saying? So it sounds like the men fell in line with the government, and so did the women. So it sounds like the government is a bigger factor than we would like to admit in our interactions and the outcome of. But see, this is the breakdown as well, like I said, between the young and the old, because the older folks is like, shit, I ain't worried about that, while the younger ones are more interested in still trying to change stuff, still trying to be involved in politics and trying to make something happen, trying to get more representation. You know what I mean? Whether it be especially in the court systems, in the South, I've been seeing so many random postings of young Black men and women becoming judges in the South. Yes. Like, I think that's very important. You know what I'm saying?
That's important. Yes.
A lot of these perspectives that we have towards each other, they're manufactured. We didn't have these same issues that our white counterparts had, but at the same time, with them being our teachers to a certain degree, you know what I mean? We did emulate the way that they ran their households, the way that they, treated each other, you know what I mean? But I don't think that was our true way. We just fell in line. So because it's just usually the path of least resistance, that's what people take. Go ahead, Coach.
But what was Black people before welfare? What side of the political party did we represent before welfare?
I could have swore we were more Republican.
Exactly, because Republican prior to this news time, we were more. We're going to work to get it for ourselves. Once they gave us welfare, we've been Democrat, and we've been the richest poor people in the world. We have more subjugated on us. They gave us 3 strikes rule. Who did that affect? Black folk, particularly Black inner city folk.
Right.
They gave us no kid left behind. So now, instead of slow nug had to repeat a grade, they pass him along, realizing at some point he's gonna be a problem in the community because he can't read. He ain't looking to further life beyond his circumstance. She's not looking to protect her children with every fiber of her being. They will let the kids just roam. And that's why I say my favorite generation has grown up. Y'all fight amongst yourselves more than anybody in history. It's okay you fight against adults but y'all can't even find each other. Y'all like, I'm not marrying my peer. Y'all fight against each other, and that's crazy to me. Because if you talk about Freaknik, it was young people getting along, having a good time.
What?
Yes.
Oh my God! Not young people getting along. I've seen
they was outside
twerking on cars and
getting along. They was getting along. The man wasn't shaming the women for twerking. The women wasn't shaming the man from busting them down. Now we're in a place where Because
Like your
again,
mama was a
those
free kid.
those kids are now grown up. Those kids, y'all was kids. I was early 20s. I never went to Freaknik. I used to hear about the stories like, ain't no way. But then it became more acceptable where the parents can hang out with the kids. Y'all know people who smoke weed with their kids and shit. Man, you could never smoke. You better not smoke in your mama's house back in the day. Everybody, but it became more acceptable as they understood. See, white people understand the value of the father. They understand that. And they push it on us to make sure it's separated. And I'll say this and I shut up. I don't care how bad the guy was to you. If he's a regular working guy, force him to have a relationship with his child and let the child determine as they get older. Not saying that if a guy's abusive. Now, if he's abusive, then lock his ass up. If he's not spending the time and giving the kids the confidence that they need to be more successful, then do what you have to do. But also make better decisions. Just because he got that swag and he got that little lean, he got that little, hey, yo, what's up, sexy little mama? He ain't gonna be a good daddy because he's already telling you who he is. But most women like men, we like each other. It's something about us, we like each other.
Yeah, we do.
And
Yeah, we gotta also like the responsibility because it don't just stop with we like each other. You know what I mean? Like,
yes,
you know what I
I
mean?
agree.
It's gonna be a commitment and a responsibility, and that's gotta be
Yes.
first and foremost.
But most people didn't see the commitment through their family. You got to see a commitment through your family. If you grow up with your mom and daddy together, you already understand ain't no commitment. Once you realize it, oh, mama got boyfriends, daddy got girlfriends, they ain't committed to each other.
Right.
I don't know.
So
That was a rude awakening for me though, because I can't even lie. Because I came from a lineage of nothing but people. I mean, marrying the high school sweethearts. You know what I'm saying? All my grandparents being married until they pass and things like that. I leave the
yes,
house. That's what I'm looking for. But guess what? The world and priorities have changed. Yeah, I was asked. You know what I'm saying? I was proposed to, but it wasn't because he was ready. It was because he didn't want nobody else to mess with me. He knew how much I valued marriage. Okay. So it's like at the same time, we have to be a people who actually values marriage. We shouldn't be waiting like, it shouldn't have to be okay, well, once you get your shit together and you 35, then you can finally go settle down. Like, why does it have to be like that? If people are talking about strengthening the community and being together, and it goes past liking each other. It goes towards supporting each other when we ain't got nothing. It's about building
LA,
together.
LA. When you met your guy, did you let your parents meet him?
Of course. Well, my
What made you?
father had passed away by that time, but my mother, yes, of course.
Okay, did you let uncles, anybody, any males meet him and give him the third degree?
Well, I didn't live around any of my uncles, but one of mine actually did visit, and he he asked me about him a couple of years ago. Matter of fact, he was like, "Hey, like you still talk to your?" I was like, "Damn, I'm surprised you still remember him." But yeah, I had somebody, but at the same time, when you got mama there, you know what I'm saying? It's different than when you got daddy there, because a young man, you know what I'm saying? Yes, let me help you with your mom. Let me bring the groceries in the house. I'll cut you know what I'm saying? They doing that type of stuff. And
Yes.
mama is just seeing him as a man. She's not seeing him as like somebody she needs to be like looking out for. You know what I'm saying? Like it was, I don't know. It wasn't the same degree, if that makes sense. I think mothers are more hesitant with like in they accept people less, like when their sons bring home a woman, but when their daughter brings home a guy, the mama is not really like on that same wavelength as the father would be with the shotgun and all.
Right.
I didn't have that, unfortunately, but I
Right.
did have my dad in my life, you know what I'm saying, all the way up, I was until I was 16. So
Okay.
regardless, when I met my first boyfriend and stuff, we dated and just got to know each other, and that was it for almost like a year straight.
Right.
Then
Right. I get it.
then we made it official. You know what I mean? Because I
right?
was just like, you
Because,
ain't gonna just be smashing and dashing on my ass. Like, no, like shit, we gonna get
but
to know some family members and stuff. Like, I need to know where you live. Like, I need to be able to call your mama in case she's acting up. Like, all of those things. But it was a mutual thing. Even like my brother. Well, I have a younger brother, and they almost got into a fight, and I had to tell the guy that I was dating. I was like, my brother is going to be here. So either you straighten the fuck up or you can get the hell on. And he straightened up. They're still cool.
but that's the thing, LA. And this is why they understand the importance of a father, because most fathers will protect their daughters from the riffraff. Most fathers will let you know. That's why he waited, because he understood that if he violated you in with your father around, he gonna have to deal with that man. But once daddy left, LA wasn't the same LA.
No,
It was different.
well, no, actually, he was already gone by the time I met him. Those were steps that I made him take.
Okay,
I
but
never
you had
told
to see
him.
the foundation was set. I get okay, you're right. Your foundation was set. Most
Right.
people don't grow up with that foundation. Most
Mhm.
people don't have that opportunity, regardless of we ain't together. Listen,
Right. But
I'm gonna
that's
go. You gotta go ahead. I'm
no,
sorry.
no, go ahead and finish. I got you.
Can I
No,
say
I'm
this
just
real quick?
saying.
Can I say it
Go ahead.
real quick? I'm about to leave the panel. I would like to thank LA for having me, and shout out to the panel. It was a great discussion. It was well needed. I just don't want to just drop down without saying anything. But peace out to you guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Okay.
All right. I
Salute to you,
appreciate
brother. Be
Peace,
safe,
peace and
man.
blessings.
you.
Be
Come
Peace.
safe.
back.
Yes,
Okay.
indeed.
All
Later.
right. That's OtisWho, y'all. All right, coach, you got it. I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's just how crazy. Like, okay, how the dynamic shifted so fast.
What's up, witch doctor?
It's only been 50 years, and here we are, probably in the worst time for adults to really be trying to get together and work together, because everybody's looking at each other like it's your fault, and
Mm.
most people haven't experienced the worst of America. So the fact that the foundation was given to you early, again, we get to a space. I used to say this all the time to young folks. When we get ready to have sex, we ain't thinking about mama or daddy. Ain't nobody in that bedroom thinking about, well, my mama told me not to, my daddy told no. We get in our selfish bag and we do what we want. And then if the other person doesn't comply to what we want, now that becomes a problem. When a lot of times we just have to think about, is it really worth it? No. And most of us don't think like that.
Well, I mean, we got more, I guess, options in life or whatever. So it does put us into a more selfish type of mode. But I mean, I still think that there's enough people out, out there that, for one, appreciate relationships and the institution of marriage, actually want it. You know what I mean? And I think that they're trying their best to go after it. You know what I mean? Even in the right ways. Like, people are starting slow, not having kids. Like you said, they're not having kids as early as they used to, because they want to do things different. I can, me personally, I can kind of recognize that. I think that a lot of people are stuck in that blame game, because it's just, like I said, it's just easier not to have to look at yourself and say, damn, like, what could I do different, or what did I do wrong? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just easier to do that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. At the same time, I wanted to say something about the whole father thing, because I swear, like, and coach, like, around, I think when I first met you, around the same time, we were having this group conversation about fathers in the household, and it was just like, I'm listening to the responses of people, especially who did not have their fathers in the household, and it just blows my
Right.
mind how much they end up inadvertently downplaying the father's role. They'll say things,
Hmm.
well, you can't blame the person who wasn't there. Why the hell not? Nigga, where were you? You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, being a stepfather is stupid. Oh, if the woman doesn't, get on your program, if she gives you too much problems, just start a new family. Like, the attitudes are horrible, to the point where I'm just like, I don't think that people are understanding what they're saying, because I know how much having a dad every day meant to me. and what it did for my life. But when I hear other people, when they didn't have their dad, they're just like, well, I can't blame him.
Right.
And I'm like, the fuck you can't. Excuse my French.
Right. They can't
Because
relate to it.
man, but if they look at all the things that they're missing, those are the things that you can
But
blame your father for. You know what I'm saying?
but
So it
but
does.
LA, again, you're talking about, okay, I'm Gen X, right? We the baby mama, baby daddy generation. That's why it became that. We was having sex and nobody was saying we gonna be a family.
Mm.
That's
Right.
how it came about. It wasn't like we gonna get together based off, our parents know each other. We was meeting each other wherever we was meeting each other, back seat of the Jeep, in the park, over Granny's house. When parents went to work, we was having sex, but nobody was saying, you know what? We want to be a family. That
And
became a
then no,
problem.
and then no, and
So
then that could be the first mistake. But then where's the stepdaddy? Then we don't even do the step parent thing either. So it's just like
because
it's
you
no
can't talk to my
correction.
kids. You can't talk to my kids. They got a dad. You
And
can't
where
talk to
you
my
at
No
with
son.
that?
correction.
You can't talk to my daughter. They got a daddy. Where your daddy at? The daddy ain't shit. So if you telling the kid they daddy ain't shit most of their young life, what you think they gonna do? They gonna take advantage of. They gonna take advantage of it in school. They gonna act out. But they'll never say, "Mama, I need a daddy." They'll never say, "Mama, can I see my daddy?" No, your daddy ain't shit. Why? Because he left us. No, he left you. Because most fathers stay within 10 miles of their children.
Most?
Drop. Yes, most fathers stay within 10-mile radius of their children.
I only know one person right now, personally, that has that situation. Most of the people that
Mo-
I hear, I talk to, they just like it's too hard to coordinate. I gotta go through all. Yes, if you care about your child, y'all are going
But
to
again,
decide on a
selfish,
location, and you're gonna live
selfish,
close enough. Yeah,
selfish,
It should be a
selfish
care. It should be
me.
a care about man, woman, and child. We a
Yes,
family. This is a unit.
right.
This is
yes,
like nothing else going on out there. We are now a
yes,
unit. Now, what is best
yes,
for all three?
yes.
That's what it
But if
You
should
know
we
what I'm saying?
just
It's a mindset. It's a mind to me, real quick. It's just a mindset to know my life is dedicated to this now. I don't got nothing else on my mind. I'm not thinking about nothing else. I want to see this
but,
through. And
but
I'm gonna sacrifice my time, my energy, and everything to be that. That you know what I'm saying? It's a own, you know what I'm saying? It's your own conviction.
nobody, brother, nobody dedicated their life to me, so why should I dedicate my life to somebody else?
see that shouldn't even matter. You should know at this
It
point.
matters to
No,
me.
it
And
shouldn't.
I'm playing devil's advocate.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah,
I got
he
you.
yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah, he
saying?
he
Not
But
definitely
once
that.
you know better, you're supposed to do better regardless. So my answer is still going
man.
to be the
I,
same.
I
You know what
don't
I'm
know
saying?
better. I wasn't taught better, LA.
Oh,
My
well,
parents didn't teach me nothing.
do you have a brain
What
network?
do women want to? Do women want to hear a man say, "I want to be dedicated to the family. My life and my time is about the family"? Do a woman want to hear that, and do a woman want to take that and do something with it?
That
You
Not
she
know
if
what I
you
wants.
mean?
cheat on
Because
me.
Of course, she wants to hear that.
ain't
Not
no
if he
cheating and
cheats on
nothing
her.
happening. Like you know what I'm
Hey,
saying? Like and
if
then come on, coach. He come from a time where pops would stay in the home, or he not divorcing the man. He may do things outside the home, but he not breaking up, or he not leaving the family unit.
yes, I agree. But then they gave us no fault divorce. My friends are having so much fun.
So every excuse. So basically, as a man, every
I'm gonna
excuse
stay
that
with
can be exhausted and used, we'll use it to get out of the responsibility.
That's what it sounds
Yes,
like to me because I'm just like,
See,
yes.
I don't accept that. As a man, I don't accept that.
I
I got a
don't either.
choice to make and I got something to do and I'm gonna do it. And that's all I want
I
to hear
don't
and that's
either.
all it needs to be. And I'm not holding nobody in this universe else over me or what I have decided.
I agree with
You know
you a
what I mean?
thousand
Like I
percent,
don't
brother.
hear men be men and you know what I'm saying? I got convictions. I got things that I'm not playing with. You know what I'm saying?
Who teaches a man how to be a man today?
the one that's there.
And that's the problem.
Oh,
Once
so should she
once
not be there?
once
Somebody
I
gotta be.
turned, once my scrotum sac separated from my body, My mother no longer dealt with me the same. She passed me off to my daddy. And
Right,
my
because
daddy,
they were
but
together
again,
though. Hmm.
yes, but again, most of us from Gen X, we wasn't together in the first place. We met at the club. We had it in the backseat of the Jeep. We weren't trying to be together anyway. I can do it by myself. I can raise kids by myself. And then when we all get to that age where the boy's scrotum sac separate from his body, now he becomes a different animal. He's not listening to mama the same. He's looking at girls. And he's not valuing girls because nobody, he never saw nobody value his mama. So why do I have to value girls?
That's crazy. So
I
as
don't
a
have this
young person,
conversation.
I can't say that. I mean, I know that
like
story
you
is out there, but
all the nice things and ways that your mama was there and made you soup and took care of you when you were sick, you can't appreciate her by your on your own. You need to
She
see
let
a
me get
yeah,
away
I'm
with too
trying.
much.
I'm like, I got my
great.
own. Yeah, I got my own idea and
That's
things.
some
I'm the man. I made me the man I am. I think like how I think because I'm really me. You know what I'm saying?
But
I don't have a
again,
concept of being taught how to be a man. I can see things men do, and I can say I like that. I want to add
right,
that to me. You know what I'm
right.
saying? You know
That's
what
what
I
I
mean?
was
That's
saying.
all I've been doing all my life. I like that. I'm
how
gonna be that.
many how many of your peers think like you?
I think enough. I think enough. It might not be or a number that would impress you, but I think that it's enough.
It's not about impressing me. It's about being able to
Out of
put in
my
the work.
5 friends, there's 3 of us that don't have kids, and we 40 plus.
See, there you go. I know people men in their 40s are getting close to that. They don't have any kids either. It's changing.
That's but that's always been the way though. Most men never had children anyway. It's that loud minority of men who were making 4 and 5 babies with 4 and 5 women. It's always been that. That's the narrative that they always try to push on us that black men were the work. It's never been that way. It's never, and most of us don't realize it until we get older. That's why you hear me say, like say a lot of times, go have those tough conversations with your parents.
Mm-hmm.
Go have that conversation. Because even your daddy, he ain't gonna really shit on your mom. He
Right.
ain't gonna really shit on her. But go have those conversations. Daddy, what happened? Why'd you leave? Well, I don't know what your mama told you. She said you left me. Well, we wasn't together in the first place. We were just having sex in the back of the school. She came to me 3 months later talking about you was pregnant. Huh? So how can you expect someone, especially young, because we having babies young. We ain't, most people have, and y'all can look this up right now. By age 25, 95% of America has had sex.
Duh.
95%. Okay. So that means most of us are having sex early as teenagers.
But we're
Not
acting like
saying,
being
I'm
sexual
saying.
is a weird thing. Like that's a natural thing. Now we need to be educated. We need to be smart. You know what I'm saying? We need to be protected. But acting like men and women are not sexual beings is kind of like I don't know.
But
We
No,
got
that's
that's
never.
not the
We
problem.
can't discard that. That's not going anywhere. But the
yeah,
responsibilities behind having sex
Yes.
and all of that, better
right.
choices, and all those things
Yes.
can be improved. Like you know what I mean?
Of
I
course.
mean,
Who
we've
you
had
having?
sex education and things like that. We've had sex
Yes.
education and things like
Hmm.
that since early days in school and stuff like that. Then we get out and we be messing up and flipping up and feeling like we can do. Now the reason I don't have kids and like that because I've always strapped up. I never and as far as the woman, if she wasn't a family minded woman, if she didn't have that love in the sense like I did and really want to do this thing, then I'm not forcing nothing. And you know what I mean? It's not going any further than just safe sex.
Right.
So,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Choices and decisions, you know what I mean? That's what I'm looking at. Responsibility. I don't think hearts, souls, sex, I don't think serious things are to be played with. And at certain point in time, we got to grow up and really realize and understand something. So, I just hold myself to a higher standard. And I would never say in life, I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Yes.
Okay.
You can use that to a certain point. But again, how many people, because we modern, we got all the information that our parents didn't have us. We even got videos to give us the information without us even talking. How many people are sitting down on Friday, Saturday nights and saying, hey, let's watch this together and then let's discuss it after. Let's do it like we do a panel, LA. We're gonna go through this video and I'm gonna stop it every 2 minutes and we're gonna discuss what we heard and